fascial glide. It's one of the few times I grab tissue and slide, but it's at a snail's pace. It's not fast. There's a little pressure on my hands and wrists, but this is one of the few times I can think of that I do this for a prolonged amount of time. How's that right there?
Good.
Good. It's not too much? Okay. If you had a choice, if I went a little more medial or a little more lateral?
Medial.
A little more medial?
Mm-hmm.
Right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And still up towards the elbow?
Mm-hmm.
If I keep going up towards the elbow, it tends to get more and more intense as I get up towards the elbow. It tends to increase in intensity. And here's what I tell the clients. Hey, can you type for me? Can you move your... And what does he feel?
Release.
And then what clients go is they go, oh my God, those muscles are connected to my fingers? They don't know, right? And I go, hey, listen, I know it's normally your right hand, but can you move your mouse for me? Because they do this all day. It's one of the things they're doing that's causing that, right? So now I'm going to have him completely rest and relax. I'm going to get this handshake grip. I sometimes call this Welcome to the Machine. I'm a big Pink Floyd fan. Do you guys know Wish You Were Here, the album cover with the guys on fire?
Yes.
Yeah. So I get this handshake grip and I'm going to mobilize. I'm going to pin and stretch here. Little handshake grip. I can give him some length on the flexors. How's that? So good. Now, you see how his hand is already starting to turn just a little bit pale? There's enough compression down into the table that it's causing that. Not too much?
No.
Medial or lateral?
Try more medial.
More medial, that way?
Yeah.
There you go. Then I'll back off for a second. Now, I'm still moving, but does it look like I'm moving from the outside? Super, super slow. It's really just like slug, snail's pace. If for some reason you hook into somebody's skin and you just can't slide, I'll hang out for a minute or so and just disengage and move a little bit up the forearm. Is that too much?
No.
If I want to go faster, I'll lift the fingers so there's less skin traction so I can slide a little faster. But I can also change the angle depending on what feels comfortable on my wrist and shoulder. Do you have any referred pain from that?
No.
I don't know. Is it just tender where I'm pressing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that jamming up your shoulder at all?
No.
And also, I probably would have tractioned or mobilized his shoulder and arm before I had gotten here. You definitely don't want him like lifted up where it feels like the humerus is pressing up into the shoulder joint. How's that?
Good.
Good. Still a little more medial?
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yeah.
There we go. And then you want to type again? Any kind of movement? Does that feel like it helps?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Ooh, let's sped it up. Also, going really slow like this, I feel like I'm less likely to pull somebody's arm hair. It slides out of the way more easily. Normally, when I see therapists talking about cream and glide, when they deal with very hairy clients, they're talking about how to not like tangle the hair on somebody's back or arms. You see how this middle finger is lifted?
Mm-hmm.
It's like where it pulls into the extensors.
Yeah, that
there.
was my pointer finger. I went to the middle finger now.
And I'm getting up towards,
The good
I
stuff.
don't know, what is it, like the junction up here.
Uh-huh.
Like I can feel I'm getting closer and closer to the elbow. Not too deep?
No.
Okay.
Great.
Now, what if it's too much on my hand and wrist? I'm completely capable of like changing this and going, how's that?
It's the same.
But it reinforces my hand, so I don't feel like my right hand is straining as much. There's a lot of things, Keith, that I'll make small changes to depending on what the person's like physical limitations are. How much have we used our hands, like since we started class? And long term, that's really what it is. It's like I'm still using a table. I'm trying to get the therapist as much as possible. Like, you guys already use your hands. You know how to use your hands. You know your tools. I'm trying to expand your tool set and get you off your hands. to give you some new ones that are going to save you. Just with what we've already done so far, how easy is this going to be for you to integrate into your practices?
Pretty easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Even if you just grab a move or two, and that's why I don't go through full sequences in this class. I think it's more advantageous for table-based therapists to just grab pieces, integrate quickly into their practice, and then continue expanding from there. Too much, brother? I didn't know if you were snoring or doing ujjayi. It's a breath of fire. And it is still sliding, but you can see even like color changes on my hands just from where I'm pressing. Is it more intense at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is much more meditatively aware of this area. Ooh, boy. Lots of tension across this joint right here, right at the elbow. And I think that the forearm flexors and extensors, along with pronator teres, well, more forearm flexors than extensors, they feel like they're pulling the carpal bones into the forearm in a way that's like compressing. I'm trying to create some space, trying to allow the forearm flexors and extensors to stop pulling those bones out of position. And I'm getting right up to the edge. There's not much more to go right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to slowly start to disengage. And then how long was that? Did someone keep like a count at all? Like, was that like 5 minutes just on a...
It was at least 3.
It was at least 3? How's that?
That's awesome. Yeah.
You feel better?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the therapists come to time and size jam, that's almost, if I'm like, they're like, hey, my hands hurt. I'm like, come here. Now I'll do both arms, and they're like, oh my, oh my God. And I'm usually standing. I'm just like, hey, whatever. Plus, I'm probably listening to the Beatles or singing crazy tunes or making crude jokes or whatever it is they do at the jam. So thank you for letting me demo. You guys want to try those?
Yeah.
Probably both arms as well. You might want to start on the one that's more problematic.
Are you sure you want to do it? This is the
So head down here, then, I'm sorry. Just can you scoot to that side of the table just a little bit? So I'm going to just make nice at first, and I'm just kind of mobilizing across her wrist and then her carpals just to see how that feels. I'm going to work out to each finger. Typically, they would say this is working like the fan lines of the hand. Those sun lines, they exit out the 5 fingers. And somebody asked me once what a mudra was. You guys know what mudra is? And I said it's a yogic gang sign. Do you see the mix of like East and West? I just think it's funny. So how's this?
Okay, good.
This is just to make sure she's like soft and relaxed. A lot of people are having the problem. I'll always jokingly call this the crabby claw. It's this junction between the thumbs, so it's like thenar eminence, what is it, adductor pollicis, I forget the names of the muscles that all go right through there. But I'll come in right here just to feel my way around. How's this? Oof. Not too much right there? Okay. And I'm using my thumbs first because my thumbs are going to get tired before I would do any damage. Would I come in, and do you guys do this often, do you come in and put pressure in here with like an elbow? Do you guys do that with clients very often? How's this on your hand and wrist right there? Okay. Back towards the wrist or out towards the fingers? Towards the fingers. Now up towards the thumb or down towards the pinky? Up towards the thumb? Right there? There we go. So underneath my hand, here's what I want you to do. Can you try to spread? There you go. And then you can do that as much or as little as you want. So it's kind of like pin and stretch for that area, right? Now I'm gonna slowly back off. You'll notice that instead of keeping her hand down the table, I actually put it on my thigh. I really like this sort of passive contact. I've gotten really, really comfortable with physical intimacy with people in session. If that doesn't work for you, it's totally fine. Could I put a towel down and then, yeah, Same basic idea. Now, what I want to use a knee right here.
Probably not.
Really? What kind of world do y'all live in? So, how big is my knee compared to my elbow?
Much bigger.
Much bigger. So, now, here's the other thing, and I'm going to point this out before I put any real pressure on. I don't want to like grab here and then be fast, rapid. Like how big are these ligaments
Tiny.
and structures compared to like what's in the hip?
Small.
Small. And I'm using a big tool now. It's like a big wrecking ball comparatively. So I want to go slow, but I make sure palm is open. Right. Is that too much? Okay. Now, right there, if I go down towards the fingers or up towards the wrist? Towards the wrist. Is that too much right there? Okay. What, a little more lateral? Right there? A little more pressure right there? How's that? Good. Can you open your hand up for me now?
Yeah, that's already open actually.
Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer this or the elbow?
Don't know. It's different.
Different? Is this less intense?
This one is less intense. Yeah.
And it's less intense just because it's a bigger, broader structure, right? Now, I'm backing off very, very slowly. I could use either of those. Mainly what I'm focusing on is right here in what I would call the thenar eminence, just this little junction right here. Now, I can always come back with my hands and do a little spot work just to check. Sometimes I'll have more issues right here along the thumb. I can cross fiber friction through there. A lot of people will start to have issues in both sides, and here's what will happen. I'll grab right in here, what's called a crabby claw, and start to shake them out. How's that?
Okay, good. Yeah. It's intense, but.
And then there'll be one more piece before we trade some of this. So feel free. If you don't like the elbow, you can use the knee. If you don't like the knee, you can use the elbow. How's that?
Very good. Yeah.
Very good. Is it referring pain anywhere?
No.
You just feel it where I'm pressing?
Yeah, just to.
Okay. So you have dorsal interossei. And I just say that because it makes me sound smart. They're muscles between the carpals right here that if you hook like a fingertip, ooh, like I can feel it run down to my fingertip right there. You have a first dorsal interosseous, which I tell people is a no, not yes, no, that muscle. I'm going to hook my thumb right, right there. Is it too much?
No, it's not too much, but it's intense.
Okay. Are you going to need a referred pain?
I'm not sure
It's not like running down your fingers or going up your arm.
Yeah.
Same line. Same line. Because people just have experience. Anatomy and physiology does not really change from here to Thailand, I promise. Right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lengthen her pointer finger. It's going to be a little harder to see this. I'm going to pin and stretch that first dorsal interosseous, and I'm slowly working my way up towards, I guess more like the saddle joint. I don't know if that's what it's called. It's up towards the wrist. How's that?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, I feel less the pain and the tongue is getting released a little bit. Yeah. Ow. No, I'm not sure if it worries.
Well, this is where if somebody finds out I'm a massage therapist at a party, I'm like, sure, I'd love to work on your hands. And I do this, and they're like, God, don't ever touch me again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit here and drink my beer. How's that right there? Can you move that for me? There you go. And then slowly just let it rest, And I'm going to slowly back out. Now, I was really pressing, and I want you guys to do this to yourself. Can you do this with me real quick? Because this is easy to do to yourself. You're just going to take your thumb or the pad of your thumb right here. You're really hooking it down right in here, down this way. You can kind of feel side to side. Ooh. Now, once you hook in there, no. A lot of people are having problems, smaller, more intricate kind of detailed work. It makes me think of like more like occupational therapists if somebody tore a tendon or had like a knife accident or something. But there's a lot of stuff in here for people. I find they're getting maybe a little bit more work on the thenar side. They're not getting a lot with that first dorsal interosseous. Other people, if they're having ongoing weird pain, like they're getting, it runs down to the inside of my ring finger, I'll have them use an eraser right here, like an end of a pencil, and stick that eraser in there and start doing stuff like this to open those up. The first, the dorsal interossei are just kind of interesting, geeky, anatomy stuff. Do you guys want to try that for this side and then also for what I call the crabby claw? That is a correct anatomical term, by the way. The crabby claw will kind of hook in there.
Thank you.
Good. How's it feel?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Nice.
I know, but